Okay. So we have exam. When is your exam? PTSP exam? Any idea? So when are your exams are starting? EST exams, M2. Any date? February 16th. Okay. So you have 1 month time, right? Almost 1 month time. Okay. So the syllabus is all 5 units, as I told you already. Okay. Anyway, so we almost completed 4 units in the conventional mode, which means before lockdown. Almost 4 units, more or less. Okay. Only the last 5th unit is I have given as some NPTEL videos. Okay. Maybe 4 or 5 videos. Okay. So now, so let me go back to the this is the syllabus. Okay. Unit 1. So this is very simple unit, very small unit. It contains only about sets and their operations. And what is the conditional probability, Bayes theorem, and independent events. So these are the important topics which you have to study for the first unit. Okay. Now they are very simple. We have discussed all these things in the conventional method or conventional mode in the physical class itself. Okay. Now, right. So these are the some. I have shared this PPT in the starting itself. While teaching ADC course itself, I shared this PPT because the PTSP course is prerequisite for the ADC course. ADC means analog and digital communications. So that's why I shared this PPT with you already. Okay. Now in the first unit, it's a very small unit. So you have to just simply remember the basics of probabilities. All these basics. Okay. So what is intersection? What is the union? All these typical intersection union kind of things. Okay. And this is the independence of events. Okay. So independence is also very important. You have to find out whether the given two events are independent or not by following these conditions. Now this is independence of collection of events. If there are more than 2 events, how to check independence? Okay. So these are simple definitions which you have to remember. Now, so this is total probability theorem. This is very important theorem. Okay, in the first unit, this is very important theorem. And Bayes rule, it is also very important. Okay, so in Bayes rule, we use what theorem? Total probability theorem. Because what Bayes theorem says, Bayes rule says, so this is the Bayes rule. In the denominator, we have P of B. How to get P of B? By using this total probability theorem. Okay. Now these are the typical probabilities: binomial, Bernoulli, and Poisson random variables. Okay. Now, so this is binomial probability. What is binomial? So whenever events occur successively and identically and independently. Okay. So similar events are occurring independently. Then we use these binomial probabilities. Okay. So that is itself. That's it. So in the first unit, we have only very simple topics. Correct? Okay. So coming back to second unit, now it is now we discuss discrete random variables, probability mass function, probability distribution functions, example random variables, distribution uniform, and its memberless property, Bernoulli, binomial, Poisson distributions. Now this is for discrete random variables. Okay. Now same thing can be done for continuous random variables. Okay. Now, so in the PPT we have only important topics, not all topics. Now, so in the second unit, so you just remember, so what is a typical discrete random variable? So what is random variable? First of all, discrete random variable means assigning a real value to the outcome of a experiment. Okay. Now, so for every discrete random variable, we have a probability mass function. How it is defined? Like this. So probability that Px of x equal to probability that x equal to small x. What is capital X? It is a random variable, discrete random variable. What is small x? Any possible value of capital X. Okay. Now, so this is a Bernoulli random variable. So we use this if outcome has only two choices. You take just tossing a coin. Outcome can be either head or tail. Okay. Whenever outcome takes only two values, that is 1 and 0, we may go for this Bernoulli random variable. So binomial, when we go for binomial, so now when a sequence of events occurs independently, or when the sequence of events repeat independently, okay, something like tossing a coin 5 times. Now we are repeating the same experiment so many times, and each outcome is independent of the another outcome. So in such cases, we go for the binomial random variable. Now it is a Poisson random variable. Now, so here we have 3 varieties of random variables. Now we have to aware when to use what kind of random variable. Okay. Now I told you just now. So this is Bernoulli. When we use, when the outcome is only having 2 choices. Okay. Now binomial means, so something is happening repeatedly, and all the outcomes of the experiment are independent of the previous outcomes of the experiment. Now, so this is a Poisson random variable. Now generally we use this Poisson random variable when the events are random as well as independent. Okay. Now, so what this capital X denotes means, it denotes number of such events occurs in a fixed time. Okay. So let us take simple example. Find the number of car accidents in a day. If I ask you by giving the lambda value, if I ask you find the number of car accidents in a day. So generally car accidents are random and independent. So one accident is independent of another accident, but they occur randomly. So what I'm asking is find the number of such car accidents in a day. What I'm asking, I'm asking you to find the number of such events in a fixed time. I may ask you, so the number of car accidents in a year, or the number of car accidents in a day, or the number of car accidents in a month, something like that. Okay. So remember, this Poisson random variable is used to find out the number of random and independent events which occur in a fixed time interval. Okay. So you should know when to apply which type of random variable. Okay. Now, so that is about second unit important topics. What is there next? Yeah. So the remaining topics of second unit are, so you know all these things, how to find expectation or mean. Okay. So if you used these expectation mean formulas so many times in our ADC course. Okay. So this is the nth moment. It is also we have used in the ADC course. So I told you, that's why I told you this PTSP is very much prerequisite for the ADC course. Okay. So we have used all these topics in our ADC course. Okay. Now this is a variance, this is a standard deviation. So all those things we have used in our ADC course. Anyway, I have discussed all these derivations in the class itself. I mean in the PTSP class also. Okay. Just remember these formulas. Okay. So yeah, so this is for multiple number of random variables. Okay. How to find marginal PM of, how to find marginal of PM of y. So you just remember these two formulas. How to find marginal PM of x, you take summation over y. Here reverse, summation over x. Yeah, these are simply conditional random variable on another, just like conditional probability. Okay. So these things already you know. Yeah. So this independence of random variables. Now this is a condition. Okay. So this is also very, very important. Okay. Yeah. So these are all the another property that extend to the multiple random variables. If x1, x2, xn are independent random variables, then variance of x1 plus x2 so on xn equal to variance of x1 plus x2 so on variance of xn. We can write so if and only if, what a condition, x1, x2, xn are independent random variables. Yeah, something like this here. So, but here expectation of x plus y equal to expectation of x plus expectation of y. Here x and y need not be independent. Okay, you can write so every time. Is it clear? But you can write like this if and only if x and y are independent of each other. Okay. Now, so till now we have seen about discrete random variables. Now we go for continuous random variables. So the same thing will be discussed in the case of general continuous random variable. Now for discrete random variable, we call PMF, probability mass function. For a continuous random variable, you call PDF, probability density function. Okay. Now, so this is a definition of probability density function. You must remember this. Okay. Now, so these are the properties of probability density function. Okay. Here, so including or excluding the endpoints of interval has no effect on its probability. You just read this properly. Okay. Now, one more thing is what? So area under PDF is nothing but probability. This is also very, very important. Okay. So we have used this concept so many times. Clear? So these are the properties of the PDF or condition to be satisfied for PDF. So what is this? The entire area under PDF, which means it should indicate the total probability. That should be 1. Okay. So this graph will indicate this probability concept. The area under PDF is nothing but the probability. Yeah. So this is linear PDF of a linear function of random variable. It is also important. Okay. So you know the probability of PDF of x. Let x be a continuous random variable with a PDF fx. You know PDF of x. You have to find out PDF of y. But what is y? Ax plus b. It is something like linear combination of ax. Y is a linear combination of x. Then how to find a PDF of y? This formula. Now, so another type of random variable is uniform random variable. What it says is this is a uniform random variable. So if it is a to b, if the width is a to b, height should be 1 by b minus a. Why? Because area under PDF should be 1. The entire area under any PDF should be 1. Okay. So we have used this uniform random variable also. Okay. Yeah. So these are expectation and variance formulas. Again, we are discussing for continuous case. Now, what is expectation of continuous random variable? We write integration. So here, the expectation of discrete random variable, what you have written? Yeah, summation. So expectation of capital X. Here capital X is a discrete random variable. So that equal to summation over x into px of x. What is px of x? Probability mass function. Now we invoke the same formula. The only difference we make is we write integration. Integration from minus infinity to plus infinity x fx of x dx. What is fx of x dx? Probability density function. Okay. Now all the formulas are similar. The only change we make is we replace summation with integration and PMF with PDF. Okay. So this is what simple formulas. This is very, very important formula. Okay. Yeah. So coming to CDF. So till now we have seen probability mass function and probability density function. Now we have to see CDF, cumulative distribution functions. Now we have CDF for both type of random variable. Remember, we have a CDF for continuous time random variable as well as discrete random variable. Okay. Now these are simple formulas. This is enough. Okay. So CDF means cumulative. Cumulative means accumulation of probability up to value x. It is nothing but accumulation of probability up to present value x. Okay. So look at the formula. What are you doing here in the continuous time random variable? Continuous random variable. Integration minus infinity to x fx of t dt. What I am doing here? I am accumulating the probability up to what time? Up to what value? X. From where? From minus infinity to x, I am accumulating the probabilities. That is called cumulative distribution function. Okay. Now it has got some properties. So I have discussed already in the class. So these are the probabilities. These are the some properties of the CDF. Okay. Now if the random variable is discrete, this is the formula of the CDF. Okay. Now, so here this is very important. Here we are seeing how to convert, otherwise how to find PDF from CDF or vice versa. Okay. Now here, now in the first sentence, if x is a discrete and takes integer values, then PMF and CDF can be obtained from each other by summing or differencing. Okay. Now this is the CDF. This is a PMF. How to get this? By summing. Now this is getting CDF from PMF. If I want reverse, what do? I'll take the first difference. So it is, you might have studied in DSP course. First forward difference, first backward difference. Yes or not? You have studied already. Now, so when something is discrete, we can do summation. Otherwise, we can do difference. It's the first difference. Something like differentiation of time domain, continuous time domain. If it is discrete domain, we take difference. If it is continuous, we take differentiation. If it is discrete, we take summation. If it is continuous, we take integration. Okay, just remember the simple logic. Is it clear? Okay. Now, so this is a normal random variable or Gaussian random variable. Have used this random variable n number of times in our ADC course. I have written so many times this. This is a notation. X is a normal random variable with mean mu and variance sigma square. This is the PDF. It is CDF. Okay. Now this is the formula you have to remember. This is a Gaussian random variable or normal random variable. So when you said standard, when the mean is 0 and the variance is 1. In this expression, if the mean mu is 0 and variance sigma square equal to 1, now it becomes standard normal variable. Okay, this is the standard Gaussian random variable. We do not like this. With 0 mean and unit variance, this is the graph. Okay. Now this is what another linear transformation. Now this is what standardizing the random variable. Suppose x is a normal random variable with mean mu and variance sigma square. We have to standardize. Means what? We have to make mean 0 and variance 1. How it is possible? Now y will be a standard normal random variable, or y will be a standard Gaussian random variable if it is y equal to x minus mu by sigma. This is a linear transformation. Okay. Now if any Gaussian random variable is not normal, we can make it normal by using linear transformation, that is y equal to x minus mu by sigma. What is linear transformation? Just now I told you one formula, no? Where it is. If I have y equal to 1, this formula, y equal to x plus b. If I have y equal to 1 by mod a fx of y minus b by a. We use this concept there. Okay. Now, so this is a CDF of the normal random variable. Yeah, Q function, error function. I don't think I should discuss these things again and again. Okay, so we have discussed these things already in our ADC course. Anyway, you can go through this PPT at least. Correct. All these error functions we have done already. So many times I used these things in the ADC course. This is a Q function table. Okay. Now these are joint PDFs. So joint means more than 2 or more than 2. So if there are 2 random variables, we take double integration. Okay, these are all similar properties. They are called extending properties. Okay, so there is nothing new about this. Yeah, in the same way, joint CDFs. So here double integration, double differentiation, because we have got two random variables. So sum of two independent random variables. Now this is covariance and correlation. Okay, how to find covariance of x comma y? So expectation of x minus ex, y minus ey. Correct? So when the covariance is 0, they are called uncorrelated. Yeah, so this statement is very, very important. What is the statement? If x and y are independent, they are also uncorrelated, but the reverse may not be true. Yeah, these things already were discussed. Yeah, I have done this. I have done this derivation in the class also. So this is about sum of all Gaussian random variables. Now this is central limit theorem. Now this also we discuss in the class. Okay. Now so coming back to the syllabus. So unit 2 also very easy. Unit 3 it seems very big, but it is not that big. So this part is using MATLAB. Correct. So anyway, so MATLAB cannot be given in the exam, in the, descriptive exam. So only syllabus we may get is up to this. So whatever we taught in the class, that will be the syllabus. Okay. So you don't worry about the syllabus. You don't give anything outside the things that we have taught in the class. Okay. Now, so unit 4 also very, very easy. It contains only some theorems. Okay, nothing more than that. You just remember those theorems. Okay. Now, so almost all we have taught 4 units in the conventional mode only. Almost all. Maybe 1 or 2 may be missing, but more or less we have completed 4 units in the conventional mode. Okay. So coming to 5th unit. So for this 5th unit only, I have shared some of the NPTEL videos. Okay. But it seems you don't like NPTEL videos. If that is the case, you could have told me then itself. I would have taken the classes. So, but you're saying now. So there is no use, no? So if you don't like NPTEL videos, you could have told me then itself. I would have taken the classes. Anyway, so those shared NPTEL videos are very, very good. And they are very easy also. I hope I have shared some 4 to 5 videos. But apart from that, so this 5th unit, we have used each and every concept in our ADC course. I have given so many questions in the quizzes also based upon this 5th unit. You can just recall. Okay. So we have done so many problems. I have given so many problems in the quizzes also. And we have used all these concepts in our ADC course. Okay. So you might have gone through the NPTEL videos, and along with that, I have discussed these things already in ADC course, and I have given in the quizzes also. You can go and check. Anyway, so let me go back to the 5th unit. So that is something like random process. Random variable, random process. Random process means, yeah, coming to time. Only thing is we take time as another variable. So this is a random process. Yeah. So this definition is very, very important. This definition is the difference between a random variable and the random process. So random process is nothing but random variable is a function of time. Okay. Anyway, now, so these are some of the properties of the random process. It's just like random variable only. Only thing is, extra thing is we take time as a variable. Okay. So mean formula is also same. X into fx of x comma t dx. Okay. So now mean will be function of time. Now autocorrelation function. So expectation of x of t1, x of t2. Okay. Now what is autocorrelation? Auto means self. Correlation means similarity. Autocorrelation means finding the self similarity at different times. Okay. Yeah, simply means finding the similarity of same random variable at different times. Now here it indicates expectation of x of t1, x of t2. X, we are finding the similarity of same random variable at different times. At what times we are finding? at T1, at T2. That is called autocorrelation or self-correlation, finding the similarity of the same random variable at two different time instances. That is simple meaning. Okay. Now this is the autocorrelation function of a random process. Now, so when you call it as wide sense stationary, when the mean is constant and autocorrelation function depends only on the shift, not on the time instances. Now, if it is satisfied those two conditions, it is called wide sense stationary. You know stationary means something like constant. Okay. So if the mean is constant, okay. So remember here, so in the random process, mean is a function of time generally. Okay. If the mean is independent of time, then we say that it is a constant. Okay. So since this random process is a function of time also, if you find out the mean, it may not be always independent of time. But if at all if it is independent of time, something like constant, then we say that it is stationary in mean. And along with that, if the autocorrelation function is depends only on the time shift, not on the time instances, which means if I say it depends only on the time shift means what? So difference between T1 and T2. Okay, suppose it only depends upon the time shift, maybe 1 hour. It depends upon the time shift 1 hour, but it does not depends upon the time instances. 1 hour means it can be from 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 or 4 to 5. Okay, it does not depend upon the time instances, but it only depends upon the time shift, that is 1 hour. Okay, something like that. Now, if any random variable satisfies those two properties, is said to be a wide sense stationary. Now, this is a random process. This autocorrelation of the double SS. What's happening here? So the autocorrelation function depends only on the time shift tau, not on the time instances. Tau is a time difference. I mean time shift T2 minus T1. Okay. Now, so these are very, very important. These things also I have told so many times. ACF and PSD are Fourier transform pairs. This is the relation. Okay. So these are some properties of PSD, power spectral density. So what is the ACF at 0? Is nothing but power. Anyone? Please switch off your microphone. If you don't have anything to ask, please switch off your microphone. Yeah, so this is about transmission of double SS random process through LTI system. Okay, so this is one more important topic. So the output PSD equal to input PSD into mod h of f whole square. Correct? So all these things we have used in the ADC course. So fifth unit is almost we have covered more or less in our ADC course also. Anyway, you can go through this PPT or you can go through the videos that I've shared with you. Okay. Now, so that is about the syllabus. So yeah, you can ask any questions now. Any doubts or anything you can ask now. Please. So the topic I told you, these are topics. Yeah, you can prepare everything. So I'm just, let me do like this. Yeah, anything you want to ask, please. Anyone? Please. So I am doing like this. That is the first unit. So second unit, more or less, you have to study everything. Yeah, this is not required. This is not required. Anything is, yeah. Third unit, okay, more or less you can, yeah. So I hope your notes, right? Please reply me. Your notes that I taught you in the class. You just prepare the notes. So do you have my notes or not? Please reply me. Almost 4 unit I taught you in the conventional mode only, nothing to worry. Why are you worrying? I don't understand. You just prepare whatever there in the notes. Okay. So coming to the fifth unit, you can prepare my PPTs that I've shared with you already, and you can otherwise you can go through the NPTEL videos that I've shared with you. Okay. So you don't worry much about this fifth unit because I covered so many times. I have shared the PPTs, I have shared NPTEL videos, I have repeated them in the ADC course. I have given the questions from this topic in the quizzes also. Okay. Now, so I gave you a textbook also. I mean, soft copy. This textbook. Do you remember? Yeah, you can just prepare the questions from this textbook. We have followed this textbook only up to fourth unit. Up to fourth unit, we have followed this textbook only. You can prepare all the questions from this textbook. Do you remember or not? Do you have with you or not? Yeah. So this textbook I gave you already while you are here only. You just prepare the problems from this textbook. Every problem should be prepared, more or less. Okay. So PTSP should not be a problem for you because we have covered almost 4 units in the before lockdown only. Only last unit is we have given some PTSP, I mean, NPTEL videos. That should not be a problem. So I think you know the pattern, exam pattern. Yes or not? Do you know or not? Exam pattern. It is of 60 marks. So among 60, 30 are objective and 30 are descriptive. So in the objective part, you may get 30 objective. They may be of multiple choice or fill in the blanks. Okay. Now coming to descriptive, so you have to write 3 out of 5 questions, and each question carries how many marks? Anyone? How many marks? Yeah. So you know exam pattern, you know everything, right? So I think you should not worry about PTSP. Okay. So we know the situation, right? Why are you worrying? Nothing to worry. Just prepare. Give your best. Because so you have notes with you. Up to 4 units, you have notes with you. Then why to worry? Is it okay? So nothing to worry. We know the situation. Okay. So you just give your best. Prepare well. Prepare my notes, prepare the textbook that I shared with you. Okay. So coming to fifth unit, you just prepare the NPTEL videos. We don't go beyond NPTEL videos, more or less. Okay. So almost all we have covered all units that will be syllabus for your end semester examination. Okay. Anything you want me ask? Please. You can message me at least. Yeah. If any doubts, anything you want me ask, you can message me. Please. See, you told me to conduct a session, but you're not asking any questions. You can just message me at least. You can talk to me or you can message me the questions. Please. Hmm. Anyone? So ask your friends to join. If they're having any doubts, ask them to join. So if you don't have any doubts, you can leave the class. If you have doubts, you can ask me or at least you can message me. Ask your friends, those who are having doubts, to join. So if you do not have any doubts or if you have nothing to ask me, you can leave. So ask your friends. Some of your friends might be having some doubts, so let them join. Okay. So coming to fourth unit, some of you are asking about fourth unit. So in this PPT, fourth unit is not much included, but fourth unit is very, very easy unit. You just remember modes of convergence. Okay, they are what? So strong law of and weak law of large numbers. Strong law of large numbers and weak law of large numbers and central limit theorem. So these are only things you have to remember. These are only theorems. Okay. So I have written central limit theorem in this PPT, but so those two laws are not there in the PPT. I have told in the class itself. You just study these two laws. Fourth unit is much, much easier. I told you these things in the class also. Central limit theorem, strong law of large numbers, weak law of large numbers, limit theorems. Okay. I have posted these things in the, what do you call, Google class also, Google Classroom also. So CLT material, let me check once. Fourth unit very simple, ma. Nothing to worry. Just prepare what I told in the class. I don't have the PPTs right now. These limit theorems, maybe there are 2 or 3 theorems are there, and these two and this central limit theorem. Total 5. Anything? You can message me now. So nothing to worry about fourth unit. Just prepare what I told in the class up to central limit theorem. Okay. It contains all theorems only. Limit theorems, strong law of large numbers, weak law of large numbers, central limit theorem. That's it. Maybe 5 to 6 theorems total. Simple theorems. Yeah. Anything? So if you have doubts regarding anything, you can ask me. If you don't have any doubts, you can leave. So those who join now, if you have any doubts, please ask me regarding the syllabus or any topics. Anything you can ask me. Otherwise, you can just message me. Please ask the doubts. You might be having so many doubts regarding the syllabus or topics or anything else. Please, if you need anything, just ask me now. Any doubts regarding syllabus or topics or anything else? Okay, so we stop here. So if any doubts are left, I will message you in the WhatsApp group. Okay, thank you.
Good.